So this is JavaScript Basics. We're on Codecademy website doing the loop quiz. Let's get started. So the first question is, what is the general purpose of a loop? So loops read and recreate code automatically? No. Loops automatically iterate a block of code based on conditions? Yeah, that sounds good. All loops help the computer make decisions automatically? No. Loops iterate through arrays to find elements? I mean, they can iterate through strings and they don't just iterate through arrays, so that's not really accurate. I'm going to go with this one here. Loops automatically iterate a block of code based on conditions. You want to run a code block at least once, and then loop as long as the condition remains true. Which kind of loop would you use? So this is the one where I'm going to do a video on this, and I'll try and link it to discuss the different types of loops. But so this is something where you do it automatically. So you execute the loop, then you check the conditions, and then if the conditions are okay to loop again until the conditions are met. So it's basically shoot first and then check afterwards kind of thing. Execute and then check afterwards, which is called do while. What problem is caused by this block of code? So we've got for loop here. We've got I iterating starting at 10. We're saying as long as I is greater than 0, keep counting, console log I. So I equals 10, as long as I is greater than 0. Okay, so there's a problem there. As long as it's greater than 0. Starts at 10, as long as it's greater than 0. It's infinite, it's going to go infinitely, like there's nowhere to stop. So this will cause problems because it's an infinite loop. If you start that one, it's not going to stop. So the code won't run because the stop condition is less than the start condition. No. You can't run a loop without an array. I don't know. 10 and should be switched. No, the code will loop forever because I is always greater. Yes, there's this one here. Which statement is true about for loops? For loops can never result in an infinite loop. That's not true. For loops always count from 0 upwards. That's not true. For loops are appropriate when looping a predetermined number of times. For loops always run an unknown number of times. So they're appropriate when you're looping a predetermined number of times. What will be the result of the code block? Let social media equal Instagram. So I've got an array here, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So we're going to do a loop which is called social media index starting at 0. So it starts at Instagram. It's going to scroll through this array for the entire length, going one step at a time. So they're going to and it's going to console log social media, so this array here, using this loop. So it's going to console log Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's pretty straightforward, that one. Instagram, so this one here, this third one, it'll log that. What would the output of this block of code be? So we've got a constant variable named animal. The animal equals cat. For loop that starts at 0, goes through the length of that string, one at a time. They want to console log that variable using that loop. Then they've got another one. They've got another loop. So each time it goes through the first loop, so it starts at C, it'll go through, starts at 1, is less than 4, going up one at a time. So the first time it does the loop, it'll start at C, it'll be less than 4. I think it's this one here. So it starts at C, it runs through the first element in the first one, runs through the entire loop for the second one, then it goes to A, runs through the entire loop, goes to T. Yep, okay, it's this one. Which statement is true about while loops? While loops only run while a condition is false. While loops will run at least once and then will run again. No, that's a do while loop, so that's not right. While loops always loop over a code block a known amount of times. That's not true. While loops evaluate a condition for however long it's true, and the looping stops when that condition is false. The bottom one. What do nested for loops do? Nested for loops run the same code twice. No. Nested loops are bad because they run forever. No. Nested for loops allows us to run multiple for loops at once. Yeah, that's true. Nested for loops allow us to double check out. No, this is the third one. What is incorrect about this code block? So we've got a for loop. The for loop starts at 0. It runs through my array for the entire length, and it goes one step at a time, and we console log my array, whatever my array is, through this loop. Now, just looking at it, I can see that it wants to go through the length of an array, but there's no array above it. So far, what the problem I can see is where's the array? So let's have a look. The first choice is should be the first choice. No, that's not true. Let is not needed for the start of the condition. No, that's not true. The condition of the loop should be separated by semicolons, not commas. Yes, that's true. The for loop expressions are out of order. Okay, so it doesn't matter that they don't care about the array here. They're not talking about the array. They're assuming there's already an array. So that's not what the problem is. The problem is, if you have a closer look, that each element is separated by a comma. It should be separated by a semicolon. So it's this one here. And there we go.